Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and the series on digestive health. In the past few episodes, I've talked about my journey with digestive health, the routines that I've implemented to help improve my digestive health, which has been an issue throughout my life. And then in the last video, I talked about some dietary strategies in order to help again with digestive health. So this week, I'm going to be talking about supplementation. Supplementation can be really overwhelming. It is a complicated industry. There are a lot of people out there promoting a bunch of different brands, and it can be easy to fall into the camp of taking on a supplement regimen because someone that you look up to or someone that has a body that's like a body that you would like is representing these products. Or even if a physician, one doctor or one expert in the field recommends a certain product, it's really easy to kind of fall into that mindset of, well, this is probably the best thing, or this is the thing that I need, or this is the one thing that will fix everything. Stop. If you haven't yet, please remember to like, subscribe, comment to support the channel. I really appreciate it. I am so passionate about providing content, and I just want to know that this is helpful for you guys. So if you could just click the like button below, make sure that you're subscribed, and stay tuned for further content. Back to the show. What I've learned is, for better or for worse, it's usually not the case. There's a ton of supplements out there, and I think a lot of them are maybe not too terribly helpful. That's why I always start with your routine, and I always start with diet and hydration. If you can get those three things in a really optimal spot, you really won't need much supplementation at all. Unless you're going to be doing something extreme, like competing in a bodybuilding competition, you likely won't need much supplementation outside of a good multivitamin or solid greens powder like Athletic Greens, vitamin D3, which is a really common deficiency and can support hormone health, and then a good fish oil for the omegas, anti-inflammatory, great for brain and artery blood vessel health. So would highly recommend that those be your staples, and then anything else that you add in be after you have taken the necessary steps in improving your lifestyle, making sure you're getting sunlight and sleeping and moving and drinking lots of water and eating a diet that's really conducive to your overall health. And then monitoring things through a process like daily or weekly check-ins, as well as consistent lab work at least one time a year and at least every 3 months for competitors. So those are the foundations, and then supplementation can come in on top of that as needed. As a disclaimer, you always want to talk to your physician first before adding in any supplementation. There are experts out there, there are GI doctors, there are physicians who have trained for years and specialize in this area, and everything that I'm sharing with you is just what's worked for me based on my personal experience with clients, and experience through just research and kind of gleaning insight from others who have had similar issues. But always consult with your physician before you add in any supplementation. Things used in excess, like betaine, can actually be pretty dangerous if you're not using them properly. So also do not fall prey to the mindset that more is going to be better. Start low and slow and taper up as needed. Give yourself at least a day, recommend like 2 or 3 days on one regimen before you make any changes. Now, in my own digestive health journey, my digestion had gotten to a point where no amount of sunlight or water or any kind of food changes seemed to be helping significantly with my digestive issues. I was taking a very detailed log of my digestive symptoms and the timing, and noting that no matter what, I was having a lot of gas and bloating with inconsistent bowel movements every day, and the gas and bloating was happening at night. So I started shifting around my last meal at night, trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. And while I did find that certain things like heavier meals, high fiber meals, and honestly eating veggies seemed to make the symptoms immediately worse, I wasn't getting that full resolution of symptoms, which indicated to me that I needed a little bit of extra support. So I've tried a lot of different supplements, and here are the ones that I would recommend if you're wanting to improve digestive health and you've already taken all the foundational steps necessary to improve it and still aren't getting the relief that you need. First off, if you're experiencing a lot of acid reflux, a lot of times that can be due to inadequate stomach acid, and it causes a backflow of stomach acid up through the esophagus because it's not triggering the closure of the sphincter between our stomach and our esophagus. So we get that backflow. One thing that can worsen acid reflux is drinking a lot of water with your meal. So the first thing I would recommend doing would be to separate your water intake, where you're drinking water at the beginning of your day and then between meals at least an hour after you've finished a meal. and at least 30 minutes before you eat a meal. Not drinking large amounts of water at a time as well. But a lot of times it is caused by inadequate acid production. So what we don't want to do, at least consistently, is take an acid reducer, take Tums, because that can just exacerbate the problem long term and lead to reliance on those to help the symptoms without actually fixing the root cause, which usually is the opposite of what we're treating. So what you want to do is use something like a Betaine with Pepsin supplement with your larger meals, starting with the smallest dose you can, and then tapering it up as needed. Now what this will do is it will support your body to digest the food that you eat by encouraging the production of stomach acid. However, if you take too much, it can actually cause more acid reflux because you're creating more stomach acid. So now that backlash, that backflow of the acid, it's rising up even more. That's why you want to start with like 1 pill a day. So I like this brand. This is what I've been using, and I found that I really only need it with about 1 or 2 meals a day, and I only need 1 cap at a time. If I take the recommended 2 caps with a meal, I typically get worse acid reflux. If I take 1, my acid reflux is actually much better, and that's something that I've experienced throughout my life since I was a kid pretty significantly. So I've definitely noticed a lot of relief from incorporating this supplement. So implementing betaine is a great first step. That can also actually help a lot with bloating and gas, which can be indicative of food that has passed through the stomach without being fully digested, and now it's fermenting in the gut and creating this gas. So if we can support digestion in the stomach, sometimes that can relieve our intestinal symptoms as well, because our intestines are simply overworked from trying to digest what the stomach hasn't fully digested. Another great supplement is licorice. Now, I absolutely despise licorice, and I can tolerate a lot of really funky supplements, but it is one that I've only given a shot a couple times because the chewable ones are just, I can't. But it is a really good supplement for digestion, and there are compounds with licorice in them. Thorne has a great digestive product. They actually have 2 that I would highly recommend, and one has a really great blend of things that will help you break down food more effectively. So that's what we would call like digestive enzymes. Enzymes being chemicals in the body that break down. So enzymes in the stomach will break down things like protein and carbs. So those can be really helpful to eat with your meals as well. You want to make sure that you're taking both your betaine and your digestive enzymes before you start eating. So I usually take them and then start making my meal, and then that gives me a little bit of time before I start eating for those digestive enzymes and the betaine to start breaking down in the stomach so that they can cause the necessary effects to assist with the meal that I'm about to eat. Another great supplement that I would highly recommend would be glutamine. So glutamine is really helpful for repairing the intestinal wall lining, which now we're moving down deeper into the digestive system, down into the intestines. While a greens powder isn't necessarily specialized for gut health, it can contain a lot of vitamins and nutrients and fibers that can be really beneficial for gut health. And there's a lot of greens blends out there. Revive is another option. Nutrigen by Morphogen that have a blend in them that contains some fibers that are also beneficial for the digestive tract. So I would highly recommend doing that, and I like to combine that with my glutamine for a little extra intestinal support. Now, glutamine is something you can use pretty generously. I tend to use about 10 grams in the morning and 10 grams at night. You can even go up from there. There's some different protocols where it'll have you taking up to like 40 grams a day and then kind of tapering it down to say 5 or 10 a day. You can look into that. There's really not many negative effects from it, but again, always consult your doctor first. Apple cider vinegar is another great addition to this drink, where I'll do greens, glutamine, apple cider vinegar, and sometimes aloe vera juice, all of which can support digestion. Aloe vera juice helps coat the stomach lining, so that can help prevent the stomach from being damaged by high levels of stomach acid. And apple cider vinegar can help with acid production as well, and also helps with blood glucose management. So all great supplements that have multiple benefits and would be nice to add in, even if you don't have significant digestive issues. Another supplement I would recommend would be a good probiotic. A good probiotic is going to have billions and billions of CFU, so we want lots of strains of bacteria. There's lots of different combinations of probiotics that feed different types of bacteria in our gut, so it can be beneficial to rotate around different products. I'm using this one currently. I really like it. You want to make sure that a probiotic should always be refrigerated, so if you're buying it off the shelf, probably not high quality. You're going to want to look in the refrigerated section for that. But Seed is another really fantastic brand for probiotics that I would highly recommend. Now, these aren't exactly supplements, but I've talked a little bit about fiber, and some things that I've added in every single day to improve my digestive health is psyllium husk and ground flax seeds. So these both contain fibers that are really beneficial for digestion. Since my body does not tolerate vegetables very well at all, I make sure that I get plenty of fiber through other sources. Things like grains and seeds, flax seeds, psyllium husk can be really helpful for getting that fiber content without getting a large volume of food. And that's another note on acid reflux, to make sure your meals aren't too big or that can exacerbate your symptoms. So finding ways to maximize the nutritional value of what you're eating without increasing to large volumes of food can be really helpful for digestion in all regards. Another supplement that I highly recommend for every single one of my clients is fish oil. I love this brand. Legion has fantastic fish oil. It's one of the highest quality that I've ever found with really great dosing. And I also use EPA by Thorne, so an additional supplementation there. Now, again, these are not specifically for gut health, but they're really beneficial for reducing inflammation in the body and improving blood flow throughout the body. So highly recommend for everyone, as long as you don't have any ethical or medical issues that would prevent you from using a fish oil. Make sure that you always have a good source, and these are ones that also need to be refrigerated consistently. Now, 2 other supplements that I've used throughout my digestive healing journey are by Heart and Soil. This brand is designed by Dr. Paul Saladino. He's a big advocate for keto, carnivore, very eat close to the earth minded, and his supplements are all created from various animal organs. Now, I don't know a lot about the research of using things like the gut, the stomach of animals to assist in the repair of human stomach. That said, I went ahead and got it. So I got their gut support blend as well as their fire starter blend, and I've been using that for the last month. Now I've run out, I'm not gonna continue using it. My digestive issues have pretty much completely improved, besides a little acid reflux that I'm still playing around with, and seems to be mostly triggered by coffee, which is something I'm gonna have to just learn to cope with. But I feel like I've made a ton of progress using the supplements that I previously recommended, along with the Heart and Soil supplements. And now I'm gonna move forward pretty minimally. I'm gonna continue with the Betaine once to twice a day, typically with the meals that include meat. I'm going to continue with my greens drink with glutamine and aloe vera juice and apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to continue with probiotics and my omegas as well. Other than that, sorry, not going to be doing any licorice, but if you are having significant digestive issues, would recommend giving it a shot or trying out the Thorne blend that contains it. I hope this was helpful. You know, supplements aren't things that we need to necessarily be using all long term, but in a short-term crisis, like I was definitely in within the last 2 months, it was necessary to go a little bit more aggressive on the supplement side. Now that I'm in a much better spot, I can kind of be proactive with things like probiotics and making sure I'm choosing foods that agree with my digestion and support consistent bowel movements, looking for those warning signs that might be indicating that my digestive health is slipping, such as starting to experience bloating or like consistent fullness, persistent acid reflux, bowel movement irregularity. Then I can be a little bit more aggressive again if I need to reintroduce anything. For now, I'm going to stick with the basics, continue with what seems to be working and sustaining the gut health that I've been able to develop over the past couple of months, and move forward from here as minimally as possible. So I hope that was helpful. There's a lot of information out there about supplementation, and it can be really overwhelming sometimes. So if you have more questions, definitely comment down below. You can always email me, message me, let me know if you have any questions about specific products, things that I recommend. I'll put links to all these products in the show notes below, and you can look into them yourself and see if they would be beneficial for your own journey. I highly recommend adding just one thing at a time, maybe 2 if you want to add something like a betaine and a probiotic, knowing that probiotic is something you can keep in long term, and then you can trial out things like betaine or licorice to see if that helps with specific mealtime digestion. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment to support the channel. We'll be rounding out this series on gut health here soon. I'm going to show you one more full day of eating so you can see what it's like to eat now that my digestion's in a much better spot. And on a full day of eating, that will be a training day. So it'll be a little bit more exciting than my rest day. I'm incorporating more diverse foods now, getting back to some of my bro foods. So I will show you that as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.